everyone, myself Sudhakar. I welcome you all to this video lecture series on group theory. In the last lecture, we discussed about binary operation and definition of a group. In this lecture, we shall learn other important concepts in group theory, namely abelian group, finite and infinite groups, semi-group, monoid, and order of a group. Before that, we shall recall the definition of a binary operation. An operation star on a non-empty set S is a binary operation if for all A comma B belongs to S, A star B belongs to S. For example, addition and multiplication are binary operations on set of all natural numbers, set of all integers, set of all rationals, set of all real numbers, and set of all complex numbers. Similarly, subtraction is a binary operation on Z, Q, R, and C, but subtraction is not a binary operation on N because difference of any two natural numbers need not be a natural number. In particular, if we consider 2 and 3, let it be any two natural numbers, but what is 2 minus 3? That is equal to minus 1. It doesn't belong to N. Therefore, minus is not a binary operation on N. Next example is that division is a binary operation on Q star. Q star means set of all non-zero rational numbers, and R star and C star. But division is not a binary operation on N, Z, Q, R, and C. Why division is not a binary operation on N and Z? Because N and Z doesn't contain fractions. In Q, R, and C, these contains fractions, but if you consider 5 and 0, so 5 is a rational number and 0 is a rational number, but if we consider 5 by 0, we usually take this as infinity. It doesn't belong to Q. So similarly, 5 by 0, if you consider in an R, it doesn't belong to R, and also it doesn't belong to C. Therefore, division is not a binary operation on these sets. And also, matrix addition is a binary operation on the set of all M cross N matrices over R. Over R means the elements of matrices are real numbers. And also, matrix multiplication is a binary operation on the set of all N cross N matrices over R. So similarly, you can consider other examples. Next, we shall move to the definition of a group. Before that, we note that the term group was coined by the French mathematician Évariste Galois around 1830. And also we note that the modern definition of a group was given by Heinrich Weber and Walter von Dyck in 1882. Therefore, what do you mean by a group? A non-empty set G with an operation star is said to be a group if the following laws are satisfied. So in that first law is closure law. For all A comma B belongs to G, A star B belongs to G. And the second one is associative law. A star B star, A star of B star C is equal to A star B star C, and it must be true for all A, B, C belongs to G. And the third one is identity law. There exists an element E belongs to G such that A star E is equal to E star A is equal to A, and this must be true for all A belongs to G. And here we call E as the identity element. And the fourth law is inverse law. For every A belongs to G, there exists A inverse belongs to G such that A star A inverse is equal to A inverse star A is equal to E. And here we say A is the inverse of A inverse or vice versa, or A inverse is the inverse of A. Therefore, any non-empty set G with an operation star, if it satisfies all four laws, then we say that it is a group under binary operation star. And usually we denote that by G comma star. And also you can remember, so any non-empty set must satisfy all the four laws. So you can remember like this: class ID in laws. Class stands for closure law and associative law. ID stands for identity and IN stands for inverse law. Let us consider few examples. So Z plus, Q plus, R plus, C plus and 2Z plus. 2Z plus means set of all even integers are all groups under addition. Similarly, Q star dot, R star dot, C star dot are all groups under multiplication. So other examples we consider when we go into work problems. So next we shall move to abelian group. But again we note that the term abelian group was introduced by Camille Jordan in 1870 to honor Niels Henrik Abel, who is a Norwegian mathematician. So what do you mean by abelian group? Or we have another name, commutative group. A group G star is said to be an abelian group if it satisfies commutative law. That is, A star B is equal to B star A, and it must be true for all AB belongs to G. And here you can observe a group G star. That means it must satisfy already four laws. Along with four laws, if it satisfies commutative law, then we say that group as abelian group. Therefore, for any non-empty set G to become an abelian group, it must satisfy 5 laws. For a group, 4 laws, and for abelian group it must satisfy commutative law, therefore plus 1, therefore totally 5 laws. Therefore, closure law, associative law, identity law, inverse law and commutative law. So for example, so we have written Z plus as an example for a group, whether it is a abelian group. Since it is a group, we have to check only one law, that is commutative law. So if I consider 2 and 3, any two integers, so what is 2 plus 3? That is 5. Is it equal to 3 plus 2? Yes. Therefore, 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2. This is a particular example, whether it is true for all. So yes, it is true for all. If I consider any two integers, A plus B is equal to B plus A, and it is true for all. Therefore, Z plus is a abelian group. Similarly, we can prove Q plus, R plus, C plus and also 2Z plus are all abelian groups, and also Q star dot, so under multiplication, set of all non-zero rational numbers under multiplication is also abelian group. We note that it is already a group. We have to check only the commutative law. Again, we can observe, if you consider any two rationals, for example 2 into 3 is always equal to 3 into 2. Therefore, in general also it is true for all A comma B belongs to Q star. A dot B is equal to B dot A. Therefore, it satisfies commutative law. Therefore, Q star dot is a abelian group. Similarly, R star dot and C star dot. And also another example we can give is set of all matrices under matrix addition. But you can observe, if you consider matrix multiplication, So for example, if I consider any two matrices, if A is a matrix and B is another matrix, you can consider of order n cross n, and this is also n cross n. So A into B, so under matrix multiplication, AB need not be equal to BA. Therefore, set of all matrices under matrix multiplication, so over reals you can consider, need not be is not a abelian group. Therefore, you can consider other examples for non-abelian groups. So next we shall move to the finite group. So what do you mean by a finite group? A group G star is called a finite group if G is a finite set. So a group G star is called a finite group if G is a finite set. So for example, so we consider cube roots of unity. Cube roots of unity. So what are cube roots of unity? So 1 omega square, where omega is equal to -1 plus I root 3 by 2, and we can take omega square as -1 minus I root 3 by 2. I think you know we got cube roots of unity. You can consider that x is equal to cube root of 1, and this implies x cube is equal to 1, and this implies x cube minus 1 is equal to 0, and left hand side you can use a cube minus b cube formula, and if you solve we get the values, and we take it as 1 omega square. So I have this set G is equal to 1 omega square, and we shall consider the binary operation as multiplication. Okay, now since it is a finite set, so to prove it is a group or not, we consider in the form of table. So okay, for finite sets we usually consider in the form of table, and this is called as composition table or Callis composition table. And the first we write always the binary operation. Since the binary operation is multiplication, we are going to write like this. And next we write the elements of G. 1 omega square. Similarly here 1 omega square. And next we shall write the elements here. So 1 into 1, that is 1. 1 into omega is omega. 1 into omega square is omega square. Next omega into 1 is omega. Omega into omega is omega square. And omega into omega square is omega cube. But we have omega cube is equal to 1. Therefore this becomes 1. Next omega square into 1 is omega square. And omega square into omega is omega cube. Therefore again it is 1. Omega square into omega square is omega power 4. But omega power 4 can be written as omega cube into omega. That is equal to 1 into omega. That is equal to omega. Therefore this is omega. Okay, now we have to check all the 4 laws of the group. So first one is closure law. So you can observe here all the entries in the table. So what are the elements we have? We have the same elements of G. Therefore all the entries in the table are same as the elements of G. Therefore closure law is satisfied. And second one is associative law. For associative law we usually consider 3 elements. Suppose if I consider 1 into omega square, is it equal to 1 into omega square. So left hand side I get 1 into omega cube, that is equal to omega cube value is 1. Similarly right hand side 1 into omega is omega, again into omega square, that is also omega cube. Therefore I get 1 is equal to 1, that is we get 1 is equal to 1. Therefore LHS is equal to RHS, and it is true if I consider any other possibilities. Therefore associative law is satisfied. And also identity law. So how to find the identity element? Now observe carefully. In the table, this is the topmost row, and you should observe whether we have any other row, whether we have same as the topmost row. So this row, it is same as the topmost row. So in the topmost row I have 1 omega square. Here also we have 1 omega square, and we must have in same order. And this row is headed by 1. Therefore 1 is the identity element. So for identity law, the row headed by 1 is same as the topmost row. Therefore 1 is the identity element. And also how to find the inverse. The fourth one is inverse law. Okay, again by looking into the table. So just now we found identity element. So now we shall find inverse of all three elements. So what is the inverse of 1? What is the inverse of omega? What is the inverse of omega square? Okay, you can find directly, or using the table also you can find. Now you see here. So what is the inverse of 1? So we have to move right side. So if you get identity element, you should stop. Again you should move above. So there we get an element 1. Therefore this is the inverse of 1. So what is the inverse of 1? Inverse of 1 is 1. Similarly we shall find inverse of omega. So inverse of omega, we should move along. So we should move like this. If you get identity element, you should stop. And again you look at the topmost row. So what is that element? We have omega square. Therefore inverse of omega is omega square. And what is the inverse of omega square? So we shall move like this. I got 1, that is the identity element. So what is the element we have in the topmost row? Omega. Therefore I have omega. So you can find inverse of these elements using the table, or you can find directly. So how to find directly? So inverse of 1. So what is the element we should multiply so that I get 1 itself? So that element is 1. Whether it belongs to G? Yes, it belongs to G. Therefore 1 is the inverse of 1. You should check in another way also. Again A dot B must be equal to B dot A. Again 1 into 1 is equal to 1. Similarly, what is the element we should multiply so that I get right hand side identity element? Therefore what is the element we should multiply? So if you multiply by 1, I get omega into 1 is omega. I don't get 1. If you multiply omega into omega square, I get omega square. So again I didn't get 1. If you multiply omega square, so you get omega into omega square, that is omega cube, that is equal to 1. So in another way also, omega into omega square is 1. What is omega square into omega? That is also omega cube, that is equal to 1. Therefore we got omega into omega square, which is equal to omega square into omega, that is equal to 1. Therefore omega square is the inverse of omega, or omega is the inverse of omega square. So similarly you can find what is the inverse of omega square. So take omega square. what is the element we should multiply so that I get identity element right side. If you take 1, omega square into 1 is omega square, I didn't get 1. If you take omega square into omega, that is omega cube. Therefore, omega cube is 1. Therefore, omega is the inverse of omega square. Therefore, G satisfies all the 4 laws. Therefore, we can say G is a group under multiplication. And also, you can check another thing here. So, you can observe in the table. So, the table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. That means I have symmetry here 1 1 omega square omega square here also 1, etc. Therefore, the table is symmetrical about the principal diagonal. Therefore, we can conclude that it satisfies commutative law. Therefore, G is a abelian group under multiplication, since the set G is finite because we have only 3 elements. Therefore, it is a finite group. Similarly, another example. So, we are going to work this in detail while working the problems. Another example, we can give the 4th roots of unity. So, plus or minus 1, what are the 4th roots of unity? Plus or minus 1, plus or minus I, under the binary operation multiplication. Again, it becomes a abelian group. Again, the number of elements is 4. Therefore, it is an example for finite group. Okay, next, we shall define what do you mean by an infinite group. A group G star is called an infinite group if G is an infinite set. So, what are the examples we have considered in abelian group? So, those are the examples for infinite group. So, examples for infinite groups are Z plus, Q plus, R plus, C plus. You can observe these sets are infinite and also they become group. So, therefore, we can give these as examples for infinite group. Similarly, you can write Q star dot, R star dot, C star dot, etc. So, next one is semi-group. So, what do you mean by a semi-group? A non-empty set G with an operation star is called a semi-group if it satisfies 2 laws. What are those 2 laws? Closure law and associative law. So, for a group, we have 4 laws. So, first one is closure law, next one is associative law, third one is identity law, and fourth one is inverse law. So, if any non-empty set satisfies only 2 laws, then we say that it is a semi-group. Therefore, what are the examples? So, already we have given examples for group. Every group satisfies all the 4 laws, but we require only 2 laws. Therefore, all the groups becomes semi-groups. Therefore, examples are again Z plus, Q plus, R plus, C plus, etc. And can we consider N plus? N plus, the set of all natural numbers under addition. Whether it satisfies closure law? Yes, it satisfies closure law, because sum of any 2 natural numbers is always a natural number. And whether it satisfies associative law? Yes, it satisfies associative law. Therefore, N plus is also we can give as example for semi-group. Okay, next we shall move to monoid. What do you mean by a monoid? A non-empty set G. Again, we should be careful here. We are not writing a group G star. We are writing a non-empty set G with an operation star is called a monoid if it satisfies 3 laws: closure law, associative law, identity law. So again, what are the examples? So a set must satisfy 3 laws. Again, we can give examples what we have given in group. So examples are Z plus, Q plus, R plus, and C plus. Can we give N plus as an example for monoid? Set of all natural numbers satisfies closure law, associative law, but it doesn't contain identity element. Therefore, every group is a monoid, but every monoid need not be a group. Therefore, for semi-groups and monoid, we can give examples what we have given in groups. Next is order of a group. So what do you mean by order of a group? The number of elements in a group G is called the order of a group. And we have the notation for order of a group, and it is denoted by like this. If G contains n elements, then order of G is equal to n. So if we consider an infinite group, we say that it is of infinite order. So for example, for finite group, so we have considered the cube roots of unity 1 omega, omega square under the binary operation multiplication. What is the order of this group? Order of the group means number of elements in this set. So number of elements we have is 3, therefore order of the group is 3. Similarly, fourth roots of unity plus or minus 1 plus or minus I, again under the binary operation. Therefore, what is the order of this group? Order of this group is 4 because number of elements here is 4. And also, if I consider, we know that Z plus is a group, but what is the order of this group? Since Z is an infinite set, so we say that it is of infinite order. Infinite order. Similarly, Q plus R plus are of infinite order. Okay, so in this lecture, we learned few important definitions of group theory. So we have learned the 5 laws. One is closure law, associative law, third one identity law, fourth one inverse law, and fifth one commutative law. Commutative law. Therefore, any group or any set, if it satisfies all the 4 laws, then we say that it is an abelian group. If any set satisfies 4 laws, then we say that it is a group. If any set satisfies only 3 laws, then we say that it is a monoid. If any set satisfies only 2 laws, then we say that it is a semi-group. If any set satisfies only 1 law, that is closure law, then we say that it satisfies the binary operation. Okay, now in the next lecture, we shall discuss few important properties of group. Thank you.